Now we got the dude, I'm sorry, brain fart. NBA teams ain't even hiding it anymore yet. NBA teams with the tanking shit it's kind of getting like very ridiculous. Like how the Jazz they did not play all their players in the fourth quarter. It's shameless tanking. Not even discreet. Just out there. But for this class, I ain't gonna lie, you can't blame them.
The NBA has a problem.
Hey, I do the same thing for DeBonster or Darren Peterson.
In jeopardy of becoming a laughing stock. Because with 3.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter of the Utah Jazz...
Hey man, I'm not gonna lie, Paulo Bencaro, that's a separate video.
Recent game
what happened to my boy?
Lauri Markkanen hit this layup to bring his points total to 27 on the night and give the Jazz an 8-point lead. Lauri Markkanen finished this game with 27 points. That was his last possession of the game, and the Utah Jazz lost to Orlando by 3 points. And you might be wondering, what kind of injury Lauri picked up to miss the final 15 minutes of a game?
Did they even put an injury report? Or they just flat out sat him down?
That Jaren Jackson Jr. and Yusuf Nurkic picked up. Because with a 7-point lead entering the fourth quarter against Orlando, 4 of Utah's 5 starters did not play. And whilst Keontae George actually did pick up an injury, the Utah Jazz decided, we are going to sit our 2 best players, the 2 top scorers for either team at the time, and our starting center.
Shame.
They didn't try to hide it. They didn't try to lie. They went out and played a professional basketball game with one intention: lose that game. And Utah aren't the only team doing this right now, because the Washington Wizards have already decided Anthony Davis and Trae Young are finished for the entire season.
Nope. There is no glazing for these teams doing what they're doing. I don't think y'all know how good Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsta, Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson, that draft is loaded. I'm not blaming no teams for tanking. I'm not blaming no teams for tanking this year. Fucking tank. This is the year to do it. The other previous years were the year to do it, but it's not as good as this draft class, I'm not gonna lie. Like last year, last year was pretty good, but if you didn't get in the top, I would just say if you didn't get in the top 10, it didn't really matter. But like this year, like this, bro, that shit
the same
booming,
Anthony
bro.
Davis that was just playing a month ago injured his hand and apparently is gone for the rest of the season.
Well, he's
Trae Young,
always injured.
who apparently sprained his knee and is out for 3 months. And in case this wasn't bad enough, how about everyone else the Washington Wizards are sitting? These guys aren't even good.
Wait, hold on. Oh, against the Nets, they sat out Keyshawn George, Sar, Bilal, this is a nasty tank job. I'm not gonna lie. This is nasty. Not even letting the young niggas get burned. This is nasty. This is nasty work.
Not even good yet. They were losing whilst they were playing these guys, but there's at least an off chance that they could win, so they are sitting everyone. They are playing guys who haven't even been in the league for the last several years. At least with Utah, you can claim, oh, we'd rather get Kyle Filipowski minutes than Lauri Markkanen. Keontae George and Alex Sarr are in year 2. There is no reason to be sitting them. They should be developing
Not letting the young guys get burned
so afraid of
for the
winning
tank
games that you were sitting
against the Nets. Because that's how shit the Nets are. That's how shit they are. They can't even play their players that are in year 1, year 2, and year 3. That's
nights ago. That was worth $13
But the Nets don't gotta try. They're really that dog shit.
Duncan Robinson makes more money than the entire Washington Wizards roster from just a couple of nights ago. And why? Because of mysterious injuries to second-year players. And it's not just these two teams. This is a widespread issue, unlike any we have seen. Even before the season started, the owner of the Nets, Joe Tsai, said this: "We have one pick in 2026, and we hope to get a good pick, so you can predict what kind of strategy we will use for this season." And this is only getting worse, because another team is about to enter these levels of tanking as well, with the Indiana Pacers making a deal with the Clippers that essentially ensures that if they finish in the bottom 3, it is a coin flip for them either winning or losing that draft pick. If they finish outside of the bottom 3, those odds get much worse, so you can assume what the Pacers are already going to do.
The Pacers kind of bugging for that pick trade. I'm not going to lie, because I kind of didn't understand how it worked when they traded that pick, but if they don't come out top 3, or bottom 3, sorry, they're losing their chances dramatically.
And we're already seeing it with the Ivica Zubac ready to sit out with
that's some big cojones you gotta have
and
to do that.
And for anyone unfamiliar with college basketball, there is a reason for this. There is a reason Utah, Washington, Indiana, and Brooklyn are tanking at levels we haven't seen in years. This is a draft so good, so stacked, that this was a report that came out earlier this year. And whoever these executives are,
they're kind of tripping on that If Cooper Flag was in the 2026 draft, he'd still be number 1. He'd still be number 1. They say goes lower is like 5th or 6th. Hell no. Hell no. He'd definitely be top 3. No, he'd be top 2. Nah, he's still a better prospect than all of them.
Be fired from anything for the foreseeable future, because that is one of the worst and most disastrous takes you will ever see.
Hell no.
But regardless of the hyperbole, one thing is for certain. This draft has 3 number 1 level picks in it. And that's without mentioning Caleb Wilson, who is getting better by the day.
Caleb Wilson's right there too.
Teams are tanking. We aren't stupid. We know there is a lot of value in finishing low in the draft.
Like, if you have a top 4 pick in the draft, you can't go wrong.
NBA season. We haven't even hit the All-Star break. If the Utah Jazz won that game against the Orlando Magic, they'd be 17-36. Sure, it would be a long shot, but they'd still be a chance at the play-in. I mean, who thought the Charlotte Hornets would win 10 games in a row? No one. There is always still a chance for Utah to make
I just hope the Bucks don't try to win, man.
Forfeiting all of this with over 30 games left.
Tank for me, 5. Please tank for me.
Make these decisions before the season. If you are a team trying to tank, like the Washington Wizards, well then you trade all of your veteran players. You trade Kyle Kuzma last year. You bring in old guys like Chris Middleton who make $30 million and are washed. You play Alex Sarr, Keontae George 35 minutes a night. This is trying to tank. You can't then tank on top of tanking. And it's not like the NBA is unaware of what's going on. Obviously, anyone with eyes can see, but also a couple of years ago, we saw the NBA make a statement.
Let me ask you about this news today from the NBA.
Oh yeah, when they arrested Luka, yeah, that's how they got Lively.
$50,000.
Hey, it works. For what they did going into the last
unpatched season when they sat everybody, played Luka Doncic 1 quarter.
Because they still had a chance to make the playoffs.
The reason they got fined, they were stupid and talked about it.
And that's the real reason they did it. They didn't find the Mavericks because they rested Kyrie Irving. They fined the Mavericks because Mark Cuban came out and said, "We are trying to lose." And Dallas did this because if they had have won, they would have made the play-in, but they would have lost their top 10 protected pick to New York. And call me a hypocrite, this is not nearly as big an issue as teams starting to sit players and bench players with 30 games left in the season. And the fact these teams are doing this, the NBA has to start investigating this. We've seen Jonte Porter, Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, Malik Beasley. These guys are getting investigated for gambling. The integrity of the league, that is what has been said.
Dude, if David Stern was still the commissioner of the league, none of this shit would go. None of this shit would slide. The tanking, the gambling, these players, how they act off the court, bro, that shit would not go down, bro. Hey man,
teams deliberately
we know why the
promise
NBA is becoming
Jonte
a worse
Porter
product.
missing a couple
We know
of
why.
threes and then sitting on the bench is less disrespectful to the integrity of the league than Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr. sitting for 20 minutes because the Jazz do not want to win. And the real question is, how does the NBA stop this? Well, let's be real, a $750,000 fine is not going to stop that. That is like charging one of us $10. Well, this was the idea of flattening the draft odds. Following the Trust the Process 76ers, in which they tanked
That
at
shit
levels
was, that's also another gross tank job. Trust the process. That ass just keep tanking and tanking.
The NBA made a change, deciding to flatten the odds, giving the bottom 3 teams the same chance at the number 1 pick, and the preceding teams a similar chance. To the point where we have seen the last 2 first overall picks go to teams that weren't even close to the bottom 5. And from that perspective, it's working. From that perspective, the NBA has done a good job. But it hasn't stopped teams from tanking. Because teams know if they finish in the bottom 3, the worst that will happen is they get the 4th or the 5th overall pick, and in such a stacked draft, that's tantalizing. And
bro, I don't think y'all understand these 3 right here. Oh, I think DeBonce's stats are outdated. I think he's leading. I'm pretty sure he's leading college. So, y'all don't get it, bruh. Y'all not getting like these 3. No, but you gotta add Caleb Wilson to it. They're going to change franchises. They're going to change. They're going to change franchises. So that shameful tanking.
And this is where it's a tough situation.
You gotta do it.
Because teams still need...
You can't miss out on that.
There are teams that are bad. Like I said, the Washington Wizards deserve a chance at a top pick. We all know they need it. We all know they're a young, a rebuilding team. But they don't deserve it through these ways of getting it. And you know what? This makes me respect one franchise, one team, all the more. The only ethical team left in the league, the shining light of our league.
Who's
with
the
the
ethical
Wizards
team?
and the Jazz and the Nets all deciding to lose. There's one team that stands tall, one team that goes out there and says, we are going to win every single night, but we'll still lose every single night. The Sacramento Kings. You are the one standing ethical team.
No, the Sacramento Kings are not ethical, nigga. They're just a poverty franchise. Like, it's not even like they're trying to be bad. They're just bad. Just everything about that franchise is just fucking horrible. Everything. There is not one glaring light about Sacramento. There is not. Not ethical, not one bit. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, man. What are they doing?
That they sign guys like Russell Westbrook at 37 years old to take Devin Carter's minutes. A team that plays Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan 35 minutes a night. That will play Domantas Sabonis instead of Maxine Reynaud, hindering his development. A team that wants to win at all costs, but is so bad, so ethically bad, that they are still the worst team in the league. And for that, the Sacramento Kings, I tip my hat to you. Because in a league full of teams trying to lose, you are trying to win, but you are so bad, it's not even working. Shout out the Sacramento Kings. And when we talk about fixing this, like I said, it has to start with investigations. If you can find out Kawhi Leonard is getting paid money by Steve Ballmer through a tree planting organization, then you can find out what is wrong with Trae Young, Anthony Davis, what is wrong with all of these players that is forcing them to miss so many games, that is forcing them to sit on the bench in the 4th quarter. You can find that out.
Yeah, that Kawhi and that tree planting shit, that shit was hilarious. That all he had to do was post on social media. Couldn't even do that. and they just lied about the company.
And you can get to
Pay
the
him
bottom
under the
of this,
table.
and too many teams are doing this right now.
Like I said,
And for
David
a
Stern would
league
not let that
is
slide.
playing 82 games a year, what is the point of it if half of those games are filled in by teams that aren't even trying?
It's really about the end of that, but dude, actual like, hey man, there's no words to being said. Like, y'all see the prospects. I'd do the same thing if I'm a franchise.